Hello, I'm really happy to share this space with you. My name is Diana Godinez, and welcome to Explora Podcast UMES. We have a series of episodes in totally English, which we are happy to share with you. Explora Podcast UMES is a space created to share different topics of interest like general culture, citizen participation, and much, much more. Today, in this episode, we have it thanks to the support of Profesorado en Enseñanza Media en Inglés. Our guest today is Magister Patricia de León, who will be sharing a very interesting topics that I'm really sure it's going to be beneficial to all English professors and, let's say it, any other kind of professor that is interested in technology. My technology expert friend here is going to talk to us about how do we use artificial intelligence and virtual reality in English language teaching. Welcome.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Nice to be here.
Welcome. So let's start talking about this stuff. Artificial intelligence and virtual reality are kind of innovative, right? Kind of new.
Yeah, well, I think it's been coming for a while, but now it's gained a lot more, more fans due to ChatGPT that has been launched.
It's becoming more popular.
But it has always, well, not always existed, but it has been there for a while. So we can just, start by saying that the definitions of each, right, which is virtual reality would be like the simulation of an environment that can that we can interact, that people or students can interact in a real way. And we're going to say artificial intelligence for what we're looking at right now is a system that can do a lot of things that normally humans do, but now it's adapting more that it can learn. So it's a system that is learning. So it's becoming more and more intelligent too.
So it means that when you use it, the intelligence learns from you.
Yeah, depending on what you ask, and that's why it keeps adapting. That's why it's called
intelligence. Okay, it makes sense.
What humans
definitely
do.
Makes sense. Okay, so now that we know, virtual reality, just to make it a little bit more clear, is like what young teens and adults now play in video games, right?
Yeah. So like I said, it's been for a while. We've been seeing that they put on these
weird
goggles, and they play there. But we're looking at more now in conferences. Now, for example, not related to teaching, but also can be used for teaching, is, for example, in different businesses, in different companies where they need to have the different conferences, and you seem like you are together in a room having a meeting, but you're all in different places.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, different countries.
Different countries
right?
And different places.
And
yeah.
different places.
Different time zones, yeah.
And how do we use that for English language teaching? That's the key here,
Well,
right?
it's actually it's getting pretty popular and pretty interesting in that we can create scenarios, especially for learning a language, to be able to go to cities. For example, you're here in Guatemala, but you can enter certain apps with your goggles, and you find yourself in a different city talking to people from that city and in their language. So if you want to learn English, for example, you can put on these goggles, go and you can choose the type of scenario that you want. Maybe you're at the restaurant, maybe you're at an airport, or maybe you're in the movies or a doctor's appointment. Depending on where you want to be, you can create the scenario and you can talk. And that's what the benefit, I would say, of using these type of tools is that it becomes more interesting for the students. There's more motivation. It's more engaging because they're able to visit another place, sitting in their desks or walking around in their living rooms.
It's the key, right?
And they're in Italy, maybe learning Italian, or in London, for example, in a bus, speaking with someone else, and they're practicing the language.
That's a huge step, right?
Yeah. Well, from now, from the way that we are normally teaching, yes. because you can give the students different, like I said, different scenarios, different aspects of the teaching. It's still evolving. There are some tools. I had some tools here where it's called, I had the names here, Immersive English. That is from MetaQuest. That's the glasses. Language Labs, Noun Towns, Mozilla Hubs, all of these types of virtual realities that you can go into and practice that.
Are they free?
Some of them are. Some of them you have to pay, depending on what you want to learn or the extra things that you normally want to have. So yeah, but it's becoming more accessible each day.
Each day is going to be like, we're getting used to this kind of technology, right?
Yeah, we have to.
So both virtual reality and artificial intelligence are connected.
Yes. The idea with virtual is a simulation, right? That you are in a place where you're not really there. Now, artificial intelligence, we can say that it's, well, for example, we're using now the ChatGPT, and we have been seeing that our students are using it as well. And it's like a more extensive browser where you're looking for information, and it gives you basically everything in different steps, different ideas. And it's not like a simulation in itself, but it's giving you information for, depending on what you ask, the different prompts that you ask.
Oh my God. So this opens a wide variety of options of what you can do. As a teacher, it's a great tool if you know how to use it. But as a teacher, you also have to know how students use it, right?
Yeah, so we have to, there's a lot of like the pros and cons of using this, because we're kind of scared that students are going to stop using their analytical skills and that everything is done by, well, these kind of tools. And like, this is where we come in. We have to learn, because we can't fight against it. It's already here. And the students are definitely gonna use it. So we're going to have to learn, see the benefits for us, see the benefits for them, and try to adapt our teaching. So we have to become more creative.
Definitely.
Because we have to see how we can let them use it, but also try to find a way for them to use it, but be able to learn it. So that's where we teachers have to come in and give it like the more humane side, more, I could say, giving all the information that this tool gives us. We have the option of creating better curriculum for them, like adapting individually. We have more time, because most of the mechanical tasks that we teachers do, like grading and preparing lessons and all of these extra things that we do at home that we don't do in class, that take time. Now this can do it for us, and we have to get the advantage that maybe the lessons can be prepared, and we have more time for us to be more concerned or more available for our students individually, and be able to help them out when we normally didn't have time to do that, right? So we can adapt also depending on the type of students. Remember that students learn in different ways, and some are faster at learning than others, or we can adapt and find lesson plans or the different type of activities that we can choose for each type of student. So we can use that to our benefit as well.
Well, those are really great benefits if we know how you use it, right? What would you be some cons of this part?
Well, like I said, it tends to be, we have we're worried about their analytical skills, critical skills that they no longer
develop.
Use. Yeah. So if we ask them to do an essay, it's like they do the essay and they turn it in and they didn't learn anything, right? So that would be a con. But like we said, we have to be more creative in asking the different types of activities that they have to do in order for them to learn the different topics, right? I can say that it can be, they can become more isolated because they are more used to the technology. The same way with the virtual reality, with the games, we've seen it with games as well. they play a game, they find themselves playing against the computer or against someone else, and there's no social interaction with the other people, right? So
they lack this ability of social interaction.
Yeah, social interaction, which is not good at all.
Definitely not.
But again, we can. That's what we as teachers need to do. We have to be there, controlling, giving it the humane side of it, and because it can be like a con. It's an excessive reliance on technology. That nowadays, if they took their phones away, what can they do, right? So that's kind of the scary part.
That would be a nice social experiment.
Yeah, they actually did that. I didn't read the whole story, but they actually did that. They took the phones for a day in the school, and it was chaos. But I wasn't sure what it was about. I just know that it was chaos. I'd have to read more about it.
Yeah, definitely.
So try to strike a balance, right? That's the idea.
That's the idea, but that is something that you personally have to do, right?
Yeah, individually.
Individually, you have to get your own balance or getting to know which is my limit, which is the level up to where I can go, how far I can go, and when I need to stop.
Yeah, and that's, again, we teachers have to motivate the students for them to learn, for them not to stop learning because the answers are there, like to convince them that it's not only the grades that we need, but also the information that they need to learn. So yes, help them foster the skills that they need to have and tell them what skills are needed now, right?
And have you used it?
Yes, to be honest, I have.
You have? But
yes.
Let's think of the two ways. The one that you mentioned, the benefit where the teachers benefits themselves from grading and doing lesson planning and all that stuff. And also, what was the result with your students using the apps that you mentioned? And if you can tell us more about the apps, that would be awesome.
Well, for example, this has been coming for a while, right? And at the beginning, when we were able to give tests, we would use apps like Socrative and Quizzes and Quizalize to give the test, and it automatically grades. So that took a lot of our time away from grading, right? So we could do that. Now these same apps, they have changed it into AI. So now instead of me having to make the questions, I can just write the topic into their search option, and it automatically gives the questions for you.
I'm into it.
So we no longer have to create the test; they create them for them. But again, this is where the human side comes in. You have to check if the questions are correct, if they adapt to the topic that you're giving, if you want to add any other information, or obviously there's going to be some mistakes. So you still have to check, but it helps a lot, right? And you no longer have to take that much time into thinking what kind of questions I'm going to ask. You just write the topic and the question is there. For presentations, I'm really bad at being, creative in the presentations. Like
no way. I wouldn't believe that ever.
For the colors and like the way you put the information and for it to become engaging. There's tools already there. You give the topic and it automatically creates the background for the slides and the background for your topic, your presentation. So in that case, that helps a lot too. You don't have to take that much time in creating a PowerPoint anymore, right? They give the slides for you. So all of this time that we normally take, it took me a long time. It took me longer than expected because I was learning how to use it.
Yeah,
so it wasn't good at the very beginning.
Yeah, the learning process always takes time.
It takes more time. But after that, well, once you get the hang of it, you just write the topic in and the presentations are there for you, right? Creating games, any type of games for your students. Grading is also beneficial there. And now looking at the student side, we were looking at, for example, a personal tutor. What advantage can they use for artificial intelligence? Like if we had to help them out and they know the topic that they're not really good at, then they have their own personal tutor. They can ask AI, like, can you help me with this? And they give a lesson plan or exercises or ideas for. So we have like a teacher, a personal assistant, a super personal assistant, and for students, a personal tutor, a super tutor, because it's getting more and more advanced every day. And I was checking, for example, in this Khan Academy. Do you remember?
Oh, yeah, I remember Khan Academy. I used it recently.
Yeah? Okay. Yeah. So they've been adapting themselves too to AI. And now since they have a lot of topics, they have math, writing, science, etc. They're adapting it to writing. And now instead of, like they said, we can't fight with something that they're already using. We need to learn how to use it for our benefit and to help the students out. And in this case, they have an artificial intelligence called Canmigo.
Oh, really?
And what they do is they give you a topic. And for example, they have to write an essay or they have to write a story. And the artificial intelligence just gives the prompts. They're not giving the answers. They're not making the essay, but they're giving the prompts to help the student write. And so that would be a nice way. If the student writes, then it automatically starts like, why are you thinking this? Why are you based, like, this is not the correct paragraph, or it doesn't adapt to this.
Just like this is a nicer way of saying it.
Yeah, or you should check this. They're trying to make, from what I saw, they're trying to make it not for it to create the essay, but to give the correct questions for the students so they can analyze what they're writing and change it to make a better essay.
So that's
that's a personal tutor, right? And that time that you can't give your students, because sometimes there's a lot or there's not enough time in class, it's an option for them too, right? They have someone else helping them out with the things that are for each one individually, right? Because not everyone has the same problems. So they have their own personal tutor.
So they can work on that specific point or part of the lesson where they had trouble.
Not only in writing and math, etc.
Yeah, it's just an example, right?
An example. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember that stuff. Yeah.
You remember Khan?
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's really interesting, and I'm a little bit amazed how this thing is moving so fast.
Yeah.
And what happens with the old-fashioned teachers, with the old school teachers who are not willing to switch? Do you think it's going to affect them at a point? I mean, let's think about our schools. Well, of our culture or reality.
Yeah. Like I can say that all of this, these changes in, like, since the Industrial Revolution, since all these things coming out that were new and that we were scared that we were no longer needed, and it has been coming like along all this time, and we're still here. So it's adapting, like in everything. Maybe at the beginning, when internet came in, or everyone started using it, it took a while, but you had to get there. And I would say that as teachers, even though we're old-fashioned, we are teachers, and that's part of our, I can say, not criteria, but that's one of our skills, maybe, that we always have to learn.
We're always innovating. We're always learning.
Have to learn. So I would say that if you're reluctant to use it, you're going to fall for it anyway. You're going to have to, either because your students are going to make you become innovative and get in line, or by your curiosity as a teacher, you're going to have to learn it, right? So
I'm really into this topic. I mean, we teachers we have a lot of job, right? We have a lot of housework. I mean, schoolwork that we take home, and a lot of schoolwork that we do at school, right? Yeah. And just thinking that there is a way that I can minimize that work. I mean, right? I'm into it. And what have been the reaction of your students with this? Because I know I am deducing that you have a lot of students that maybe never have heard about this, or maybe they are not really into technology.
Well,
and
actually,
how have they adapt to this?
Actually, if you ask me right now, currently they all know.
They all know?
Yeah. I teach mostly in engineering, so they know. So they know. There's no problem there. And the other courses, like I said, they already use it. I haven't been in a class where I haven't had any students from here, at least, that they don't know what ChatGPT is or that they haven't used it. And in my case, again, it's trying to find activities, different ways of grading that they can use it, because I'm not going to be able to stop them from using it. But that they're helping themselves with the information and the activities, again, changing the activities so that I can check the learning and not like these essays that they send and that they're done by ChatGPT, right? So we have to change that type of activities. Mm-hmm. ChatGPT? Any artificial intelligence? Yeah. I guess.
Even for elementary, do you think that would be like?
I guess it would be up to teachers to see how they're going to adapt it to their lessons, to the topic. For teachers, definitely, yes. For students, I'm guessing they probably know how to use it, or they're getting there. So I would say they're probably gonna use it anyway.
They're gonna use it anyway. That's definitely that is true. That is true. So definitely English language can be beneficial it is beneficial for everybody, but applying artificial intelligence and virtual reality definitely will make it a better experience for our students. We as teachers have to know the benefits of these new things that are coming and how they are developing and how we can take advantages, right?
Yeah, the idea again is we have to become active participants in what is going around. Obviously, we need to know what our students are doing, what they're using, and we can't, like, we were pretty judicious at the beginning and thinking that artificial intelligence was like the Terminator robot coming and to enslave. But I'm going to say that since it's already here, there's always going to be rule followers, rule breakers, and we're going to find people that are going to use it when maybe they shouldn't, right? So I guess it's up to us to put the restrictions, some guardrails, for us to regulate the use, to help them learn, right? To see that if as teachers, well, our job is to help them learn the different topics that we teach. And if they're just copying and pasting, obviously they're not learning. So we need to adapt our teaching and incorporate that use, since they're always going to be using it. But I think we can always say that from all of these things, we have to look at the positive use cases, which there are always there.
Always are. Mm-hmm. So this is a very interesting topic. I have really enjoyed it, but we are nearly coming to the end. So what would you like to say to our audience? I know that we have students, professors, and probably also parents, because parents need to know also about these topics, right? Because of the different usages that these two tools have. I think everybody needs to know about it. But what message would you leave?
Yes, and this is not I have a quote. This is not mine. It's actually from Carl Can, the CEO and founder of Khan Academy. And talking about the positive use cases, and he said it was kind of poetic. Trying to think, or the idea is that we should use AI, or it can be used to enhance human intelligence. So let's use AI to enhance human intelligence, our human potential, and the human purpose. I'm going to end with that.
Thank you very much. And this is how we have come to an end. I would like to thank Magister Pati for being here with us today, for sharing this moment with us and all her knowledge and experience, which is surely to bring professional growth and personal growth to all of us. So we invite you to keep and stay tuned in this series of episodes, full English episodes that we have prepared for you. Please follow us to our social media. We are in the description of this video below. And I hope to see you in the next time. Have a lovely day. My name is Diana Godinez, and see you soon. Thank you.